He is the Son of God and a King, and we are not believed. And Pilate commanded the whole multitude to go out, saying to the 12 men which said that he was not born of fornication. And he commanded Jesus to be set apart. And Pilate said unto them, For what cause do they desire to put you to death? They said unto Pilate, They have jealousy, because he hath on the Sabbath day. Pilate said, For good work do they desire to put him to death? They said unto him, Yea. And Pilate was filled with indignation, and went forth without the judgment hall, and said unto them, I call the Son to witness that I find no fault in this man. The Jews answered and said to the governor, If this man were not a malefactor, we would not have delivered him unto thee. And Pilate said, Take ye. Oh, listen, please. It's small writings. Take ye him and judge him according to your law. The Jews said unto Pilate, It is not lawful for us to put any man to death. Pilate said, Hath God forbidden you to slay and allow me? And Pilate went in again into the judgment hall, and called Jesus apart, and said unto him, Art thou a king of the Jews? Jesus answered and said to Pilate, Sayest thou this thing of thyself, or did others tell it to thee of me? Pilate answered Jesus, Am I also a Jew? Thy own nation and chief priests have delivered thee unto me. What hast thou done? Jesus answered, My kingdom is not of this world. For if my kingdom were of this world, my servants would have striven that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence. Pilate said unto him, it's Jesus, Art thou a king then? Jesus answered him, Thou sayest that I am a king. For this cause I was born, and I am come, that every one that is of the truth should hear my voice. Pilate said unto him, What is truth? Jesus said unto him, Truth is of heaven. Pilate says, Is there nothing upon earth? Jesus said to Pilate, Thou sayest how that they which speak the truth are judged of them that have authority on earth. And Pilate left Jesus in the judgment hall, and went forth to the Jews, and said unto them, I find no fault in him. The Jews say unto him, This man said, I am able to destroy the temple in 3 days. To build it up again. Pilate said, what temple? The Jews say, that which Solomon built in 46 years, but which this man saith he will destroy and build it in 3 days. Pilate said unto them, I am guiltless of the blood of this just man. See ye to it. The Jews say, his blood be upon us and our children. And Pilate called the elders and the priests and the Levites unto him, and said to them secretly, do not so, for there is nothing worthy of death thereof. Ye have accused him. For your accusation is concerning healing and profaning the Sabbath. The elders and the priests and the Levites say, if a man blasphemes against Caesar, is he worthy of death or not? Pilate said, he is worthy of death. The Jews say unto Pilate, if a man be worthy of death, if he blasphemes against Caesar, this man has blasphemed against God. Then the governor commanded all the Jews to go out from the judgment hall. And he called Jesus unto him, and said unto him, what shall I do to thee? Jesus said to Pilate, do as it has been given to thee. Pilate said, how has it been given? Jesus said, Moses and the prophets did foretell concerning my death, my rising again. Now the Jews inquired by stealth, and heard, and they said unto Pilate, what needst thou hear further of this blasphemy? Pilate said unto the Jews, if this word be of blasphemy, take ye him for his blasphemy, and bring him into your synagogue, and judge him according to your law. The Jews said to Pilate, it is contained in our law that if a man sin against a man, he is worthy to receive 40 stripes, save one. But he has blasphemed against God, that he should be stoned with stoning. Pilate said unto them, take ye him, and avenge yourselves of what manner ye will. The Jews say unto Pilate, we will that he be crucified. Pilate said, he deserveth not to be crucified. Now the governor looked around about upon the multitude of the Jews which stood by. He beheld many of the Jews weeping, and said, Not all multitudes desire that I should be put to death. Weeping. The elder of the Jews said, To this end I hire whole multitudes of us to come hither, that he should be put to death. Pilate said unto the Jews, Wherefore should he die? The Jews said, Because he called himself the Son of God and a King. But a certain man, Nicodemus, a Jew, came and stood before the governor and said, I beseech thee, good Lord, bid me speak a few words. Pilate said, Say on. Nicodemus said, I said unto the elders and the priests and the Levites and unto the multitude of the Jews in the synagogue, Wherefore contended ye with this man? This man does many and wonderful signs, which no man hath done, neither will do. Let him alone, and contrive not evil against him. If the signs which he does are of God, they will stand. But if they be of men, they will come to naught. For verily Moses, when he was sent of God into Egypt, did many signs which God commanded before him to do before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And there were these certain men servants of Pharaoh, Jannes and Jambres. And he also did signs, not a few, of them which Moses did. And the Egyptians held them as gods in Jannes and Jambres. And whereas the signs which they did were not of God, they perished, and those also that believed on them. And now let this man go, for he is not worthy of death. The Jews say unto Nicodemus, Did thou become his disciple, and thou speakest on his behalf? And Nicodemus said unto them, Is the governor also become his disciple, that he speaketh on his behalf? Did not Caesar appoint him unto the dignity? And the Jews were raging and gnashing their teeth at Nicodemus. Pilate said unto them, Wherefore gnashing ye your teeth against him, wherein ye have heard the truth? The Jews say unto Nicodemus, Maybe thou receivest his truth and his portion. Nicodemus saith, Men, amen, may I receive it as ye have said. Now one of the Jews came forward and besought the governor that he might speak a word. The governor said, "If thou wilt, sir, speak on." And the Jew said, 38 years I lay on a bed, suffering from pains, and at the coming of Jesus, many that were possessed and laid with diseases were healed by him. And certain faithful young men took pity on me and carried me with my bed and brought me unto him. And when Jesus saw me, he had compassion and spake a word unto me, "Take up your bed and walk." And I took up my bed and walked. The Jews say unto Pilate, "Ask of him what day it was whereupon he was healed." Healed hereupon was it a day what truly me tell sickness. His of that him unto said, he that was healed said, on the Sabbath. The Jews say, did we not inform thee so? That upon the Sabbath he heals and casteth out devils. So here we have witnesses coming in, saying, he cured me. He cured me. Wow. And another Jew came forward and said, I was born blind. I heard words, but I saw no man's face. And as Jesus passed by, I cried out with a voice, have mercy on me, Son of David. And he took pity on me and put his hand upon my eyes, and I received sight immediately. And another Jew came forward and said, I bowed, and he made me straight with a word. And another said, I was a leper, and he healed me with a word. And Mark came to defend Jesus, Yeshua. And a certain woman named Bernice, crying out from afar off, said, I had an issue of blood, and he touched the hem of his garment. And the flow of my blood was stayed, which I had for 12 years. The Jews say, we have a law that a woman shall not come to give testimony. Yeah. Women could not testify. Shock. How do you think Pilate felt when he saw all these witnesses, a woman far off shouting? It moved him. I'm not going to read all this. I don't know when I'll stop. And certain others, even a multitude, both men and women, cried out, saying, "This man is a prophet, and the devils are subject to him." Pilate said unto them which said, "The devils are subject to him. Wherefore, were not you teachers also subject to him?" They said unto Pilate, "We know not." Others also said, "He raised up Lazarus, which was dead, out of the tomb after 4 days." And the governor was afraid, and said unto all the multitude of the Jews, "Wherefore ye shed innocent blood?" And he called unto him Nicodemus, and the 12 men which said that he was not born of fornication, and said unto them, "What shall I do? For there riseth sedition among the people." They said unto him, "We know not. Let them see to it." Again Pilate called for the multitude of the Jews and said, she's back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. "We know that ye have a custom that at the feast of unleavened bread I should release unto you a prisoner. Now, I have a prisoner under condemnation in the prison, a murderer, Barabbas by name. And this Jesus also which standeth before you, in whom I find no fault, whom will ye that I release to you?" But then cried out, "Barabbas!" Pilate said, "What shall I do with Jesus, who is called Christ?" The Jews say, not stone him. The Jews say, "Let him be crucified." But certain of the Jews answered, "Thou art not a friend of Caesar, if thou let this man go. For he called himself the Son of God and King. Thou wilt therefore have him for a king, and not Caesar." Now, Caesar's quandary. And Pilate was wroth, and said unto the Jews, "Your nation is always seditious, and ye rebel against your benefactors. The Jews say, against what benefactors? Pilate saith, accordingly as I have heard, your God brought you out of Egypt, out of hard bondage, and let you safe through the sea as by dry land. And in the wilderness he nourished you with manna, and gave you quill, and gave you water out of a rock, and gave unto you a law. And in all these things ye provoked your God to anger, and sought out molten calves, and angered your God, and he sought to slay you. And Moses made supplication for you, and you were not put to death. And now you do accuse me that I hate the King Emperor Caesar. And he rose from the judgment seat and sought to go forth. And the Jews cried out, saying, we know our king, even Caesar, and not Jesus. Caesar? These men and women, mainly men, who sin. It's Caesar. Oh God, it's Caesar. This is the Jews. Who say the Jews and they're not. For indeed the wise men brought gifts from the east unto him and unto a king. And when Herod heard from the wise men that a king had been born, or was born, he sought to slay him. And when his father Joseph knew that, he took him and his mother, and they fled to Egypt. And Herod heard it, and destroyed the children of the Hebrews that were born in Bethlehem. And when Pilate heard these words, he was afraid. And Pilate silenced the multitude, because they cried still, and said unto them, so then, this is he whom Herod sought? The Jews say, yea, this is he. And Pilate took water and washed his hands before the sun, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this man. See you to it. Again, the Jews cried out, his blood be upon us and our children. And so it is today. You Jews, be his blood upon us and our children. Now you have two camps.